What's up, Panda Gang? Welcome to the Easy Deity series. I'm going to be explaining high-level concepts in simple terms so you can follow along at home. We're playing True Start Location Australia. Step 1 of my Easy Deity strategy is survive. Stake out your claim on the map. We've done both those things, and that's why it's Easy Deity, because it's Australia True Start Location. Pretty easy to hold down the motherland massive island here, although we have had some struggles if you've watched the rest of the series. Anyways, last episode, we took our science all the way up to 100. It absolutely exploded because of John Curtin's ridiculous adjacency bonuses. +3 appeal. Sorry, +3 bonus in charming tiles. And man, I've made the most of that. So look at these guys up here. 1, 2. You can just take a look at this card in the government policy. +29. So I'm getting 29 from adjacency bonuses, and then I'm doubling that up. This episode, the goal is going to be a little bit different. You'll notice all my cities, dude, they're so small. This is my capital of Canberra. It's only just about to hit 5 pop. Brisbane, second city I settled, only about to hit 5 pop. There are some larger pop cities in the north, but something like Geelong, it's stagnated. It's not growing anymore. Melbourne's the only city that's at where I want it to be at. Let me just show you the ones on the west coast too. Again, not that much food, not that much pop. So the reason I want to have a city with 8 pop is because it lets me build 3 districts. Okay, number 1, we have our campus for our science victory. Number 2, we're building a harbor here right now to monetize these coastal tiles, which is going to be crucial in this city growing further production, being productive with actual production, and later getting extra gold. Finally, though, you have to hit 7 population to get a 3rd district, and the district I want, at least in my stronger cities, is an industrial zone. There's an argument to be made for some of them to go commercial hub, but industrial zone is key to provide electricity around your entire nation, and you just get more production, especially when you're working a lot of sea tiles, which are good on the food. Like, look at these guys, great food, but lack a little bit in production. So the goal of this episode, we're going to set each of our cities up for growth to hit at least 7 population, and the pathway is going to be pretty similar for all. You'll see all these in your screen right now. They're going science, science, science. Fantastic. Once you're done with that science, guys, we'll flip you into a harbor. That way you can make your coastal tiles a little bit stronger. And finally, industrial zone. We'll see how far we get. All right, so in our food journey, we've got ourselves a farm triangle here in Newcastle. Good to see. And in the last turn of the previous video, I got myself another builder. When figuring out where you're going to send your builders off, I have a UI mod, so I can just hover over the city, but just go see what your guys are working. So these all look like good tiles. Brisbane, these look like good tiles. Canberra, could I improve any of these tiles? No, they've all got some stuff, but in Newcastle, if I hover, look, we're working this tile right here that is not improved, so let's go ahead and build a mine on there. Reviewing my lands as well, I see Canberra and Brisbane are just started on their libraries. Instead, I'm going to say, bros, let's grab your harbor, set her down. We'll get this out first. I really want to get those districts and then the buildings in them next, because a +2 science for Canberra, Brisbane, in the grand scheme of things, it's like 2-4% difference. Check it out. We've hit the Renaissance era in science with that cartography. Beautiful. We have the caravan now, and our fishing boats are going to be even more buffed. Not to mention navigating ocean tiles and medieval fairs. There we go. We don't need any of these cards, but we're going to switch out our policies right here. Now, I think it's a shame to take off urban planning at any time because it's just such a nice card. I got 12 cities. It gives me 12 production. But I want to grab veterancy here, which is going to boost my production towards harbors, encampments, and the buildings inside those. Checking in on Perth quickly. I'm going to go ahead and do a lumber mill here. Check out the production again. Looks like 22 turns to completion. And dude, so I had this Corvée card in here, but honestly, urban planning's doing just as much. It's like a slightly less help to that city, but it's going to help all the rest of my cities. So veterancy it is. Now Hobart's getting a buff. Geelong, you can work on your harbor now. Finish that off, buddy. Sydney, do you need to work on a harbor? They've got the government plaza building finished. We're going to go harbor next. Where's a good spot to put you? Oh, a +3 bonus. I will pick that up, being next to the fish. Brisbane, Canberra, already on their harbor grind. And Ballarat will get you a lighthouse queued up next, buddy. Governor title available. Okay, I messed this up last time. I went right for grants with Pingala instead of getting connoisseur first. Let's lock this in. That'll give me 6 more signs. Like, okay, 20 science, 11 culture. I feel like we got better options, though, with these crazy adjacency bonuses over here. Like, let me hover. We're going to get +18 campus in our city of Brisbane. So we had 22. I think it's time for Pingala to be moved. Brisbane, it is, my friend. Back in the farm triangle lands, we're going to make a double farm triangle. Let's go. What I like about the placement of these guys is right in the middle of my 3 cities, Ballarat, Newcastle, and Canberra. Each of them can pick up a tile if they see fit. And that's great for sharing around too. Because you see Brisbane here, they're working a plains wood. That is just not that good, man. Instead, they can pick up this fish. It's giving me 3 food, 3 gold. So that's almost as valuable as a 4 yield tile. If you went and watched my Monday video on tiled yield equivalencies, and it's okay because Canberra, look, they are working this. No, you don't have to work the crab tile, buddy. We've got a nice farm triangle tile for you to work there. All right, and we finished the harbor in Ballarat. They're onto their lighthouse. The lighthouse is sweet, man. Not only does it help your navy units, not too worried about that, but the food on all your coastal tiles and the extra housing is going to be nice for my civ. And you also get a trader, so that's great. So these tiles right now, you would never want to work a 1 food, 1 gold tile. But when it's 2 food, 1 gold, it's twice as good. And I was talking about traders a second ago in Ballarat. We just produced one in Sydney. They're going to go to Perth. And we'll get as much production in Perth as we possibly can. Oh, did not mean to move there, but does that mean it's a bad choice? Well, it doesn't seem like it was exactly great. Although, look, we've got this aqueduct here that's just got me thinking about things. Let's get an industrial zone tacked down right here. We're gonna get the adjacency bonus from the aqueduct plus the double mine on the edge here. And back in Perth, looking at what's gonna give me the most production. Melbourne, Sydney, Geelong. Oh no, I did this backwards. I like this road because it goes through Adelaide over this little hill, and that's good to see. Just lost 3 turns on that mausoleum of Helicanarsus. Hopefully it comes through for us. So we got military tactics, a science that has no use to me, but it gets us on towards the top of the tree here. Let's grab mass production next so that our lighthouse finished cities have something to work on, like a shipyard. I'm starting a farm triangle here, Sydney, Adelaide. It's already being used by Sydney. Their tiles must have really sucked. I'm gonna avoid putting the farm too close to the government plaza because like these tiles here will give awesome adjacency bonus yields. But if I do a farm triangle right here with the builder, the trader, and then this one other tile, Geelong can access those tiles, Sydney, and most importantly Adelaide, because yeah, right now it's struggling to grow with working literally a culture faith tile over here. Meanwhile, on the east side, we've got that industrial zone we're going to chop out. I want to give the yield over to Brisbane just because Newcastle's about to finish its campus. We don't need to actually use production to create a library there. We can just buy it out. Import and export cities. So a city like Brisbane, they're going to export their gold, bring it over to Newcastle because it's a little bit of a weaker city. And honestly, Brisbane's a little bit behind. We need to get the harbor up. We need to get the lighthouse up, maybe a shipyard, and then quickly pivot into the industrial zone and getting electricity. Newcastle, while we could speed it along a little bit, it wouldn't be getting all the way to giving us electricity to neighboring cities anytime soon. Alrighty, we've got an envoy to send out. And Auckland. Where is Auckland? Oh, this is a great one right here. Okay, Auckland's nearby, and maybe that's New Zealand, maybe not. Anyways, let's read down here their unique ability. Shallow water tiles. Those are the good ones. Give you +1 production and +2 production after you're in the industrial era, which is soon. Buddy, 2 production on each of my tiles is going to be just insane. Trigger Eureka for gunpowder. Can I please get this? This is the city I need to become suzerain of. And it looks like no one else has done this yet. Let's see who else is influencing this. Coupe's got just one envoy here. Okay, gunpowder is building armory. I don't think that's going to happen. But let's just grind all of our envoys over there. Down in Wollongong, the Tasmania lands, we're going to go lumber mill on both these tiles. This is perfect having forest here. We get good production, couple good production tiles, and then the city can live off the food that comes from the coast. It's not actually living that much yet because, well, we don't have the harbor up, we don't have the lighthouse. Once the harbor is there, maybe we buy out a lighthouse just because it's kind of struggling. Guilds unlocked. Okay, this is huge. The cards themselves, whatever. The wonder, but the outback station, baby. Let's pull up the Civipedia. We got 1 food and 1 production. This can make any desert tile a little bit less useless, and later on in the game we'll get some buffs too for adjacent outback stations. Fantastic. In terms of changing policies, all I want to do is plug in Diplomatic League. Yes, and then we go to Auckland and say, give me 2 envoys. We got a governor promote. You know, I'm going to grab Amani right now and sauce him in Auckland. That's going to be pretty big later on in the game when you get her fully promoted to double up your envoys. Dude, we need to have that place under our control. Outback station here, no thank you. Let me just make a farm. And now Sydney's got good tiles, Adelaide's got good tiles. Geelong doing a little bit rough here, buddy. Can we give you anything decent? Let's give them one of those farm tiles too, so everybody is winning. Melbourne ought to be next though. I see someone working just a straight up plains. We can't be having that. Harbor completed in Brisbane. That's fantastic. We're going lighthouse next. Gonna buff up these coastal tiles. Newcastle, they're done their campus. And, oh, I forgot to do something. Let's go back. We need to get the aqueduct for these guys. That's what they're going for next. That's going to help big time on the housing and give us a sweet industrial zone adjacency bonus. As for civics, we're very close to exploration, so let's grab this, get ourselves a new Renaissance era government. Whenever I can get governments, man, I go for that stuff. Extra cards, just so OP. All right, and there we are. We've got ourselves an aqueduct that's going down right here. And check it out, our first lighthouse completed in Geelong. So just look at these coastal tiles now. 2 food, 1 gold. Like, you don't want to work this tile, but you really don't want to work a 1 food, 1 gold tile. I'm going for a shipyard anyway, in just a 1 turn, so we'll plug that in when we get there. This city is really struggling for production, though. Let me bring in a builder and help out with that. And check it out, New Zealand here, and there happens to be a Maori city already nearby. So let me hit the 4 key, and it looks like, yeah, probably not settling there, but we're going to keep Auckland under our control. Check it out, we met the Molly. I'm wondering what our auto explore ship is doing. Seems like it's doing a good job for us. Thank you. I've got the gold to buy a trader too, and this is the best example of import-export cities. Perth needs to import as much as it can to build its mausoleum at Halcyon Narcissus. And over in the east, while we're getting tons of gold, just look at this crab tile. Whoa. Bro, side note, I can't believe Perth has 16 housing right now. That is ridiculous. Also, that import-export stuff, I'm not keeping in mind that luxury resources sell for 10 a pop. And strategics are dirty too. Look at Menelik here. Our friend 26 gold per turn to take this off our hands. 20 gold from the Molly. Thank you. Wow. So we went from 101 gold per turn at 161 overnight. And there's the mass production. All these cities building out their harbors. Now they got something more to strive for. Like in Geelong. Let's get the shipyard, man. This building is great for any of these coastal cities. We're going to get 1 more production on all these tiles. And a 3 yield tile, 2 food, 1 production, and that 1 extra gold. That's a lot of yields right there, buddy. Plus the 2 extra production for that adjacency bonus on the harbor. Like, look at this tile right here. I mean, it's not great, but if you can get all of a sudden the entire coast filled with these 2 food, 1 production tiles, that is crazy. Now in Perth, I want to go for more production again, but I'm so tempted by this Bond of Brunei. It's 18 gold per turn, and they're going to give me an envoy if I go. Damn. You know what? I should stay loyal to the production, though. This mausoleum at Halcyon Narcissus is going to be super worth, but the temptation is there. Galleys are going to head back. I've got the opportunity to improve them now to caravels, and while I'm not at war with anyone, it's a good insurance policy, and then they can travel a little bit further. Next up, going for industrialization, man. Factory, coal, coal power plant, maybe even a Ruhr Valley. We'll see. The thing is, I don't have a single industrial zone yet, so this is why I was like, dude, Brisbane? We got to give Brisbane the resources right now. Lighthouse complete in Ballarat, and of course, we're going for shipyard next. This city is actually very close to hitting level 7, well, pop 7, and then maybe we figure out an industrial zone that works for it. Melbourne pop 9, this guy is thriving. Let's cruise into a lighthouse. Actually, instead we got to look at industrial zone possibilities. So if I went in this corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 distance it travels. So Sydney would be powered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ballarat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Barely not Perth. But with an industrial zone there and in Brisbane, we could have power for most of our cities. Let's go ahead and place a tile. Anyways, it's going to take just 10 turns to build. We'll swap out a tile so they're not working on 1 food, 1 production. And just when I thought I didn't need any more building, there's so many more tiles that need improving. 1, 2, 3, 4 I can see right here just in Melbourne. Hey, the rules of Auckland bow to Australia. We've got our suzerainty here, man. This is huge. Just look at these water tiles now. Whoa. Absolute explosion in production all around every single one of our coastal cities, which is obviously most of them. Now we just got to fight to keep them under our control. With that, I'll just give it another envoy. We're going to place them in Auckland, get up to almost level 6. The second tier 3 envoys, decent for factory, but the next one is what you want for like coal power plants and stuff, which we're actually very close to on the tech side. We're just a little ways out on the actual producing of the buildings. All right, government policies. Let me keep everything in here as we have it, except for we want more influence points per turn. Actually, we want more gold per turn. That's a lot of gold. And we're gonna get serfdom as well, so we can buy out a ton of those beautiful builders. What did I say? Melbourne. You guys needed a builder real bad, so you're gonna grab one. This southwest quadrant looks like it's about to hit its peak here. Rockinham's working just like regular C tiles, which is not that great. So I'll get another builder, try to figure that out. But we'll finish off with a final builder right in the middle, Adelaide. I'm gonna quickly get into, what is this? Theology just takes 1 turn. Yeah, let's do this. Then we can swap our government cards back. Rockingham only just finished its ancient walls. It's got no districts started yet. City's in a bit of a rough spot, so we'll get you going on a harbor, buddy. Big pop, but low production. Plus 6 food surplus and only a 5 production total. Okay, so with the new turn, we'll just quickly buy a builder, swap out the governments. We're going right back to our tried and true urban planning. We got another envoy, now Auckland, fully maxed out, level 6. We won't reap the rewards of those benefits for a while, but we gotta start thinking about industrialization big time because we're close there on the techs. Lighthouse complete in Brisbane, and now look at these yields. Gorgeous. Shipyard next, gonna be even better. And now we're getting started on that outback station grind, my man. 4 era score and a 2-2 tile from a simple plane, so that's gorgeous. I got some more builders trying to do the same down here in the south. Let me grab an outback station. 3 food, 2 production. Damn, this is a strong little improvement. Out here on the desert, it's a 1-1 tile. Okay, that's not quite as good. But I know there's bonuses later for adjacent outback stations, so we'll just have to wait for those to kick in. Square rigging completed, 1 movement for my embarked units. I'm not doing too much of that stuff these days, but it's all good. Another outback station, damn. Perth is on fire right now. Let me give Rockingham this here iron tile so it can get a bit more production. Perth doesn't even need it anymore. And some gorgeous yields coming in here for Melbourne, all the way down to 3 turns on that industrial zone. A couple of outback stations, wood mill as well. And a harbor completed in Wollongong. Now this is a city I think I'm going to go and purchase a lighthouse for. The city is just kind of in a rough spot on that food growth. And once we purchase this, now it should be doing a little bit better. Let's tell them to focus. Hey, get yourself some food, buddy. And get yourself another food tile. Now we're gonna grow in just 12 turns. And those production tiles can be used a little bit later. Okay, going back to our original goal of growing the pop so we can industrialize. I think we've done pretty well. Brisbane, Canberra, almost up to that 7 pop threshold. Melbourne has hit that for a while and is already building the industrial zone. We're gonna get the factory quite soon. You know what, I might save up some gold so I can buy factories, buy coal power plants. And with the current plan of industrial zones, we got 1 in Melbourne already placed down. We've got 1 in Brisbane about to get placed down in 12 turns. The entire eastern portion of our lands will have power. West will be a bit more of a struggle. And Tasmania will be hard to get to. Those are definitely some things to think about. And then finally, perhaps Perth can build this industrial zone. Once it's done with the Mausoleum of Helcanars, it's just got huge production. 19 versus 8 with its neighbor, 9 with Hobart. But a lot of that is like, who do you give the tiles to, right? What is going on? This galley has found some scarier dudes. Don't go over there. Oh, so this is why it's a better... Okay, so because there's a horse, these outback stations do a little bit better. Let's pull this up real quick. +1 food for each adjacent pasture. And you get more food and production for adjacent guys next to each other later on in the game. Metropolitan life in Melbourne. That means we hit 10 pop. Good work to our citizens down there, eating up all that food and growing a bunch. We really helped the city out in this episode, though. Look, all these lumber mills we got put out. A couple outback stations. Things are looking a lot better. Production in the city was quite low before. I think we've doubled or even close to tripled just this episode. Hey, and just like that, Melbourne actually completed their first industrial zone too, so we'll get workshop next. Maybe we have to buy out a factory. We'll see how that goes. I do have a lot of gold, though, and I'm seeing that I'm down big time on my trade routes because I got so many of those dang lighthouses out here. Can anyone afford not to be working on sea things, though? Just take a look at what I'm working on here, man. Shipyard, 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 shipyard. More harbors up in the north, all harbors, too. I got no one that could work a trade route ever. Anyways, finishing off the fabled outback station triangle. No bonuses yet, but when they show up, buddy, we are going to be swimming in dough. Let me get another one near the sheep, too, for that extra bonus. And that's a great place to call it, guys. Mausoleum of Helcanars completed, looking gorgeous. I've only got 2 good-looking tiles so far, but my goodness, will these be better later on.
Thanks for watching, Panda Gang. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to actually pay for Windows, so make sure to subscribe. Peace.